Good afternoon, everyone. It's November 2nd, 2018. The year has flown by, hasn't it? Alright, so there are a lot of things going on that are not good. I'm going to try to cover all of these things here in this one video for the day. And I'm looking for one. I must have accidentally closed it. Okay, so one of my longtime subscribers and favorite commenters, Beta Talk 357, turned me on to this this article here at AOL. And it's from the Associated Press. Violence plagued West Virginia prison before Bulger killing. And this is going to be one of the problems. And look, some of us are going to look at it as a problem. Some of us are going to look at it as being a good thing. It's definitely a problem for the government, okay? And I'm not going to read the whole article to you. I'm just going to hit the key points. And I'm not even going to talk about the murder of James Whitey Bulger. And the reason why I'm not going to talk about that murder is because he deserved what he got. He was a snitch. And if you're a snitch, you get killed, that's your own fucking fault. You shouldn't have snitched in the first place. Now, they are doing something called augmenting in these facilities, and they're only pointing out a couple here in the federal prison system. However, I would have to say that this is going on across the entire industry. And it shows how unwilling people are to occupy these jobs anymore. Let me remind you that police departments are having problems recruiting people. The military is having problems recruiting people, and so is the prison industry. And for good reason. But down here in later on in this article, it talks about this augmentation. All right. Thank you for the heads up there, Beta Talk, by the way. Let me get to it here. Okay. So union officials say the prison is operating at about 75% of its staffing level and has dozens of vacant positions. They have also decried a practice known as augmentation, which taps healthcare workers, teachers, secretaries, and prison cooks to fill correction officer positions because of officer shortage and overtime limits. So they're having problems staffing these places, and rightfully so. A lot of people are waking up to the fact that most of the individuals who are occupying these prisons probably shouldn't be there. That form of punishment is probably overkill. And more people are saying, I don't want anything to do with this. And that's going to be a problem moving forward for the government and the prison industry specifically. So what would their solutions be to take care of this problem? Now, in the last couple of days, I have talked about how they are considering drafting women in the, what is that called? The selective service programs. And that draft would not necessarily include military service. It could be other forms of services, public services, such as prison guards. But it's not going to work out very well for them. A lot of people will not cooperate with the selective service program. I certainly would not. If I were drafted to go to war against, say, Russia tomorrow, I would tell them to fuck off, because Russia has never done anything to me. Russia, Vladimir Putin, the Russian government, is not over here in my country stealing my money, stealing my rights. They are. So there's no way I would cooperate with the selective service draft, no matter what position they tried to put me in. Now remember, the National Defense Authorization Act, National Defense Preparedness Act, it includes in it the ability for the government to force you to work for them without pay. And the last I knew, that was hard slavery. That was straight up, undeniable slavery. Right now, we're not in the hard form of slavery. We are merely in an open-air prison, and we're allowed to choose our occupations. We're allowed to choose what we're going to have for dinner. We're allowed to take care of our children. But that's about it. You know, we're allowed to shop. But more and more, it's getting harder and harder to get out of this country. So the prison industry is facing a big shortage of corrections officers. And while some say that's terrible, allow me to point out, again, most of the people in prison are there for nonviolent drug offenses. Things that shouldn't even be considered crimes in the first place. And the reason I say that is because a crime has to have a victim. If the state is picking up victimhood, if they are the ones claiming to be the victim, then no crime was committed. That same thing goes for prostitutes and the Johns. That same thing goes for druggies, and even to a large degree, the people selling those drugs. A lot of the people selling the drugs are not violent people. They're providing a service to meet a demand. Now, when I lived in Michigan, I was responsible for the distribution for the entire state of Michigan of the marijuana there. I was fronted anywhere from 250 to 1,000 pounds a month, and I reached the 1,000-pound limit only a handful of times, but still 1,000 pounds a month. Anywhere in that range, it was somewhere right in the middle there. And when people refused to pay me, I didn't even get violent. And the reason for that is, in the long run, you will make more money not retaliating against the people who fuck up on their fronts. In the long run, you'll stay out of prison a lot longer if you don't fuck with the people who mess up the money. You give them an opportunity to pay it back one way or the other, and most of the time, the people do the right thing and pay you back one way or other. Now, I had a couple of people who didn't pay at all, and again, in the long run, I ended up making a whole lot more money not going after those people. The only time you should use violence against another person is if you are in imminent threat. So, it's a good thing to me that people are not wanting to fill these positions. They recognize them for what they are. Alright? let's move over here to why not? Why not? Over here at SHTFplan.com, DARPA seeks FAA approval for military drones over American cities by the year 2030 rather, at the latest. Meaning they want it to happen much sooner than that. Just a little over 10 years after drone surveillance inside U.S. borders was declared a conspiracy theory, it is now an indisputable fact of life. So too are military-grade drones along the border, which in reality constitutes a 100-mile wide swath that encircles the continental United States and 2/3 of its population. And look, there's already blimps, high-altitude blimps, that are hovering over American cities. We have one here in Spartanburg County, sponsored by Kodak. So, you know, more spying, more spies, more snitches. And you know how I feel about snitches. You know how I feel about them. What happened to Whitey Bulger was the right thing to do. And I commend the individual or individuals who whacked him. He should have been whacked. The next generation of warfare, genetically engineered viruses. Isn't that just fucking lovely? And I suspect that probably Lyme's disease, HIV, Ebola, probably these things are all genetically engineered bioweapons. And the Africans are the people that these things get tested on. I'm surprised. I really am. I'm surprised that the Africans have not gone extinct. Not only from their own ineptitude, their own stupidity, but through the experimentation done on them. Their stupidity is bad enough, but when you add to it the experimentation, well, it's no wonder, it is a wonder how they are not extinct yet. And this is what I'm talking about how people are so fucking obsessed with safety. I would rather live with dangerous freedom than safe slavery. Are you prepared for lockdown? How to stay safe when all hell breaks loose in America? And this comes from Daisy Luther. So she seems to think that as the situation in the United States devolves, how prepared are you really? I'm pretty prepared. But I can always be more prepared, just like you, just like everybody else. If you had to go into lockdown mode and keep your family safely at home, how long would you last with the supplies you have on hand? Well, I would last about 3 months. About 3 months is how long I would last. And I wouldn't keep myself and family locked in our place just for the sake of safety. If we needed to go somewhere and get something, we would go armed, and if anyone fucked with us, I would kill them. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to be cowering inside your home trying to be safe. You might as well be in prison at that point. Okay? Adenovirus outbreak. 10th child dies in New Jersey. An adenovirus outbreak in a New Jersey rehabilitation center has now claimed its 10th life. Another child. So far, at least 27 children have been linked to the outbreak at, Wanacue Center for Nursing and Rehabilitation in Haskell, the New Jersey Department of Health said. The viruses causing this outbreak are found. Let me open this so I can at least finish that sentence. Bert. We have shitty internet in this country too, by the way. I mean, shitty. That shit should have loaded just like that. Okay. The viruses causing this outbreak are found on unclean surfaces and medical instruments. So they're not doing their job in sterilizing the surfaces there in this particular rehabilitation center. Although they may not be eliminated by common disinfectants, they rarely cause severe illness in healthy people. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, outbreaks of the disease are common in places with large groups of children, such as child care settings, schools, and summer camps. Those with weakened immune systems have higher risk for a severe disease and may remain infectious long after they recover from it. Now, many of you know, over the summertime, I got some kind of strange, I don't even know what to call it, but my entire body was filled with these blotches from my feet all the way up to my neck. And it made me sick as fuck. I have no idea where it came from. None whatsoever. We regularly clean with bleach and Pine Sol here, and yet I still got extremely sick. I mean, almost to the point where I was going to die. When you're running fevers between 104 and 105, you're really near the edge of death there. And I felt like it. And I venture to say, most of these outbreaks are done on purpose. They are done by somebody else. It's not just happening on its own. So there's that. And it's not the only instance of outbreak either, by the way. And I talked to you guys about additional tariffs are about to be more painful for everyone. And it will be. It's going to make Christmas almost unaffordable for a large portion of this country, and maybe myself included. All right, let's go ahead and move on from there. Bolton and look, I had a clip pulled up of Don Lemon talking his shit, but I don't need to. I'm sure most of you have already heard him say this, that white males are the biggest terror threat. And he doubled down on his statement. So the thing is the left media is, and others, politicians, they are promoting violence against white people. And as a result of this, Baltimore 9th grader sucker punched and jumped by classmates for wearing a Confederate flag t-shirt. Come on. And I'm not going to read the whole article to you, but I will read what the witnesses said about. And by the way, one of the witnesses was a black person. You can tell from the name. I know that sounds racist, but there's no denying black folks kind of have different names than white people. Alright, according to witnesses in the school, the male student was brutally attacked while sitting in a 9th grade classroom solely for wearing the shirt. Quote, the people were just randomly seeing the guy and hearing about him wearing a shirt like that. And when they saw him, they decided to be rash about it, said Kentwood student Alex Wilkerson. Wilkerson was in an adjacent classroom from where the fight initially broke out. It eventually poured into the hallway. I definitely saw just a bunch of people screaming at him from really up close, he added. This comes from the other student. He was minding his business, honestly, said Treshaw Holmes, another student. They had no right touching him. Look, I don't like a lot of the t-shirts out there. For example, there are people running around with a t-shirt with the all-seeing eye, the pyramid on it. And every time I see one of them people, I just want to slap them upside their head. But I don't, because it's not right to attack people based on what they're wearing. So, and that's not the only instance. White people are being attacked constantly now. Just a couple days ago, I did a video about how 10 white people were burned alive by people of color. Did that get any Don Lemon attention? No. And if it did, he would probably celebrate it. And this guy is real scum. I mean, fucking scum. Pushing racism and violence against white people, specifically heterosexual white males. More racism. Andrew Gillum, campaign staffer. Florida is a fucked up cracker state. So we can be called every derogatory name in the book, honky, cracker, whatever else we're called. But if you utter the N-word, man, it's like the fucking world ended, even though that word has been commercialized by their very own community and does not belong to them anymore. To save democracy, the radical left is now calling for ban of voting rights for all straight white men. And this is just the last couple of days. And this is the article again on the attack on the child in school, 9th grader. Now, if that were my son and they attacked him, he would have fucked him up. My son don't play no shit. The last time a person of color tried attacking him on the bus, he took care of fucking business. Okay, so I covered all of these here. Back up here at the Free Thought Project. Cop arrested for beating, spitting on 2 Latino teens, telling them, welcome to the white man's world. And really, the actual white terrorists in this country are the ones wearing the badges. U.S. aid report shows hundreds of millions of U.S. humanitarian aid actually funded terrorist groups. Police kill man for holding a plastic toy sword that was very special to him. Cop crashes his patrol vehicle while drunk, and he cries like a baby as he gets blue privilege. And of course, I talked to you about what CNN, Don Lemon, and Chris Cuomo said. Elderly grandma battling cancer attacked and arrested for asking for a search warrant. And again, classy Georgia cop tells couple trying to get their child back to suck his dick. This is the behavior of these fucking criminals. And that's what they are. They are criminals. I'm not prepared to lock myself down for any reason. Not going to do it. But there's more. There's more financial news. There's more just all around not news that is not good. Right here. U.S. manufacturers not coming back to North America, says new poll. I could have swore Donald Trump was bragging about how all these fucking companies, manufacturing jobs, were coming back to North America, but they're not. It's all a lie. Just like President Obama's presidency was nothing but one lie after another, and Donald Trump is not any different. It's just gotten to the point where I would like to take my family into the deepest, biggest forest and never fucking come out again. How about you? I mean, are you getting to the point where you're ready to say fuck this place and to walk away from it? Fuck these people and walk away from them? Now I am. I'm definitely really at that point. If there was any place to go, I would probably go there. Some of the stocks rebounded, but there's still a lot of bad financial shit going on, and it's just, when is it going to fall apart? Migrant caravan members sue Trump over shockingly unconstitutional asylum crackdown. And some of these people actually do need asylum. Some of them. But, according to Dave Hodges, and this is going to be the last thing I report on here, I'm going to pause it, bring up his short video, and then talk to you about it. Okay, so here I am at the video. It's a fairly short video, but the information contained in it is very important, and you should listen. Okay, here we go.
We cannot protect you. This is the message being given to several people along the Arizona border who I have had personal communication with, and I'm sure this story is going to spread. But because I'm in Arizona and because I have these contacts, I am probably at the front lines of being contacted. I'm going to provide some of the details of a couple of conversations I had with people who are directly affected by this warning here on the border, the front line of the next conflict of America. My name is Dave Hodges. I am the host of the Common Sense Show, and we are the show that is freeing America, one enslaved mind at a time.
Let me stop right there. If you are supporting a political party, you are not freeing any enslaved minds. You are continuing the enslavement.
Received a phone call today. Friend of a friend of a friend said you need to talk to Dave Hodges, and I don't usually like people giving out my cell phone number, but in this instance, I'm looking the other way. Person contacted me, and they are in Cochise County, which is Douglas, Arizona, north, and it's also the location of one of the NSA listening hotspots in the world of Fort Huachuca. This area is going to be on the front lines, according to what many people are saying, and there are authorities like the Cochise County deputies, along with DHS, are going to ranchers in the area, and they are telling them, you need to really think about what you want to do here, because we have information that it's not just going to be the caravans that are crashing the border, making a bum rush over the fence, that people are going to slip off to the side, because we have trained paramilitary people preparing to enter into the United States, and they are well armed, and they're here with bad intentions. This is what they're being told. And I had a second conversation later in the day where this is happening, and we're starting to see people alluding to this in the media, the independent media. I saw something over on Alex Jones. I've had other people tell me who work in this business that they're getting some of the same information, but no one has yet talked to anyone directly as I have. But I think by this time tomorrow that will have all changed, because you can't keep a lid on something like this. Now, I offered this one gentleman to come on, and I was going to interview him and distribute this, even play it on my radio show. He said the DHS told him to keep his mouth shut. He said, you want our support? He said, don't go out there, shoot your mouth off, just act accordingly. This is a warning for you. It's not for you to go out and antagonize and upset the public. So he said he was too afraid to come on. The second person I talked to, I could tell from talking to them, they were too timid, they were frightened of their own shadow. But these people are legitimately afraid.
So these people, they're from what it sounds like, they're using the caravan as a method of distraction, while these armed paramilitary people are sneaking across the border in other places. And this has been going on for years. People have been coming into this country highly armed, and there's been film captured of guys with AK-47s and AR-15s coming across the border. And I venture to say that their intention is not good. So, you know, don't give up your guns no matter what, because something really major is coming, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what that something is. It's not going to be good, whatever it is. Hope everyone has a great day. The rest of it anyway. Till next time, kill the state before the state kills you.